Welcome, everybody. I'm here in the garage classroom. I'm speaking quietly, hoping it doesn't echo or sound too loud. But I am prepared and I'm going to make an answer key for the current assignment, the one-pager from section 6.1 in the EdGems textbook. Pages 106 and 107, I have chosen 13 problems for you to work on. I've got my highlighter, I've got a pen, I've got a pencil. I'm armed and ready. Here we go. Take a quick look at the directions. I'm going to show work. Be resourceful if there's something we don't see or understand. You can go back to the book pages, any notes you've taken, videos I posted, including this one. Come to flex time. Okay, first we have two things going on here. We have expressions down here, and we have the word expression up there. So we have a connection, and we have the word phrase. So all of these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these first 7 problems are phrases and expressions. So these are phrases. The reason I point that out is when you get down here, you're going to be writing a phrase in each blank. The phrases look like this. It uses a lot of words and no numbers. Well, there's one. So, and these are expressions, which means up here, I'm going to take this phrase and change it into an expression. Okay, the sum, which means I have an addition sign, y and 5. So I'm changing the expression, changing the phrase into an expression. Phrase, expression. That's all we're doing on these first ones. Let's do this one. 9 times m. Got a 9 right next to the variable m. That means multiplying. Then increased, which means add. 6. So this is, excuse me, something we've definitely talked about in class, which is all the words. Most often they tell you exactly what to do. So, and when it comes to showing your work here, I've written a few notes down here, but there's really nothing to show because the work is changing the words into an expression. 10 more than twice x. To be more than something, it has to come after something. Okay, so we're going to switch these around. Twice x, and then 10 more than that. There's the right expression. The sum, which means we're adding things, the sum of a and h divided by 8. So it's the sum of those things divided by 8. Okay, there we go. Just because I want my teacher to see what my final answers are without wondering, I'm going to highlight my final answers. That way any other notes and things I have there won't get in the way. Now down here we're writing a phrase for each expression. To me this looks like 2 less than y. Right? This looks like 7 less than 4 times d. Or if I want to follow this example, I can say 4 times d decreased by 7. Does that make sense? I just chose to do it like this one because here's a good example of how to do that right there. And here is 60. Obviously there's more than one way to write a phrase for these. 60 increased by 2 times x. So there we go. Working on phrases and expressions. That's all that was. Get used to that. We have been doing this, whether you realize it or not, for quite a while. But we should be able to change it from words to math. And from math to words. That's all that section is about. Okay. Terms are separated. If you go back to this example in the book, terms are separated by addition or subtraction signs. There's one. There's another one. You got it. I'm going to go to a marker now. Big and bold. Excuse me. That smoothie is really sticking with me. The coefficient in the term with k. So here's the term with k. What's the coefficient? Well, the only other thing in that term is the 3. Coefficient is the number, usually it's a number to the left of a variable. It's a multiplier. And which term is constant? The constant is usually a number, and it's called a constant because it never changes. That's going to be 11 no matter what values we give to these variables. So we've got 4 terms, the coefficient of the k. Hey, what's the coefficient of the m? Right, 7. Okay. What's the coefficient of z? 1. Yeah, there's 1 z there, not 0. Okay, I'm going to fold the page, kind of go down to the end of the assignment here. There's the problems we just finished, number 11 on 107. Now let's go down to the bottom. I've got graph paper handy in case I need to do some work off to the side. Here's an example with a shout out to Faina from class. She was asking about, how do you do a problem when it just looks like this? And the answer is you can't do this until you get a value for the variable. So when x equals 24, we're going to substitute the value for the variable, and then we're going to simplify, and then we get a value. So we're going 24 minus 5, no equal sign. It's an expression. Expressions have no equal sign. I know it's hard not to put an equal sign there, but once you put an equal sign, it's not an expression anymore. So there's that. Number 13, if b equals -4, I'm going to substitute the -4 for the b. And now we're just going to step by step simplify. And finally we end up with -45. I'm circling and highlighting. If you're watching the timer on the video, we're almost up to 10 minutes, which seems like a long video, but I'm giving you an example of how you can go through an assignment slowly and surely and still finish it in 10 minutes or so. Okay? This one's kind of challenging because it has a fraction, but we'll go through the same steps. 1/2 when m equals 1/4. Then, next step, This becomes 1/8, 1/8. Excuse me again. I change that to 6/8 because that's what 3/4 is. If I multiply top and bottom by 2, I get 6/8. Common denominator. Now I can add the numerators. And that is 7/8. Let's go ahead and do this one. 50 minus 7 times -10 means 50 plus 70, which is 120. Remember when we multiply and they have the same sign, it's a positive product. Highlight these answers. We'll finish this last problem right now. We'll be done with the assignment and we'll know exactly what we've done and how to explain it to someone else. Very cool. Okay, this one's got two variables, so we really got to keep track. -3 times d, and then subtract 2 tens. Next step, I would go down the page if I had room. So I got -6 and -20. And when I simplify that further, I end up with -26. And like with any of these answer key videos, if you're a student of mine or not, and you notice a mistake, I sure hope you email me or comment. Okay, let me know. That was the answer key. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.